Good evening.
2 seconds, but good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. There's a big lag for some reason recently in my internet, and I hope it's not my internet because I pay a fortune to get this the high speed stuff. But yeah, there's sometimes a lag. But good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. We have Laney Shaughnessy on tonight. We're going to be talking about CNC stuff. Also, the digital wood carver. I have purchased one of them. I love it. It's been a real great machine, and I am very happy with it so far. And so that's what we're going to go on with tonight. First off, let me talk about my wonderful sponsors, and they are Devobal Technologies for web design, development, and hosting. Visit devobal.com. FastCap, innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Great with confidence. Visit rockler.com. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. Clean Spore, the sanding specialist. Woodworkingshop.com. And Seiko, the scroll sauce specialist. Seiko.com. And if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe for me. I'd appreciate that. And give me a thumbs up. Always like these thumbs up, you know that. And if you will click the little bell up in the corner, it will notify you anytime I put a video up or that we go live. So do those things for me, and I appreciate it very, very much. And let's enter, Laney, you'll be last because you're the guest. And Chris, tell us where we can find you.
You guys find me at the Old Cranky Workshop down here in Florida. Also on YouTube and Facebook. That's about it.
Jim, or what is it? Driveway Workshop.
Okay, I'm Matt Laney from Driveway Workshop, and good to see Laney on here, and should have a good time tonight.
All right. So
I figured that you would do that. You always do that. Anyway, Paul, go ahead, Paul.
Paul Corliss. I do not own a digital wood carver, but you can find me on YouTube and you can find me on Instagram and you can find me here on Saturday evenings. Sorry about that, Laney.
Dixon, wake up.
Dixon,
Frozen.
hello.
Wake
You're
up.
either frozen or you're...
He's frozen. All right. So, all right. So we'll go with Al next. Al.
Oh, Al Forte, Odessa Woodworking Maker Shop. I stream 2 p.m. Sundays on Twitch and have a YouTube channel, Odessa Woodworking Maker Shop. You can find me all over the place. Kilroy 79763. Thank you. And I too do not have a digital wood carver.
And last but not least, praise be to God, she is here tonight. Thank Brenda from Brenda G's Designs. How are you doing, sweetheart?
Well, I'm a little weak, but I'm above ground and very blessed. So, you know, I'm grateful for what I have. As far as where to find me, I'm pretty easy found. You generally either find me in the bed or on the couch, unless I'm in the car on my way to a doctor's appointment or a test. So I'm pretty easy found these days, but I do have a YouTube channel and put a new video up about a week ago that seems to be pretty hot. So if you haven't seen it, you ought to go over there and take a look at it. It's a little more serious than what I normally put up, but something that was on my heart that I wanted to put out there for everybody to see. So I hope that you enjoy it. Please leave a comment on it and let me know what you think. And, you know, soon I'm hoping that I'm able to come back and be putting at least weekly videos up of something. I don't know. We'll come up with some kind of a crazy idea.
It's going to get crazy.
But, yeah, I'm still with us and, you know, Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, I want to be here a while longer.
Yes. Praise God. Nancy and I pray for you on a daily basis. Trust me.
Good.
So
I hope everybody does.
Yes. So we're so grateful to have you on here. I mean, it's just like, it's awesome. So I don't know what happened to Jim. He disappeared and ain't even come back. So I guess when he comes back, we'll mention him. But until that moment, we're going to talk about Laney. How you doing, Laney?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the show, Russ. I appreciate it. And of course, for anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Laney Shaughnessy. I've been on YouTube since 2010 and been around. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com. My name, Laney Shaughnessy. YouTube, you can find me there under the same name, or Spindle TV, my CAD CAM design training channel. And before I really get started, just a thought going out to the Judd family for the loss of Winona. My family's prayers go to them and all, but we lost a good one today. And that being said, you can find me pretty much Spindle TV on Tuesday nights on YouTube, and hopefully another YouTube channel will get cranking again, get that going and all. But I'm around pretty much everywhere. Follow Spindle TV on Instagram and things like that. So how you doing tonight, Russ? Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're doing it, and you're right. Winona, I saw that, and I posted it too off of the news feed. Winona Judd of the Judds passed away this afternoon, and that's a significant loss. She was a beautiful woman, Christian woman, and with her daughters that do the singing and everything. But yeah, I saw that on the feed this afternoon and said it. But
that's my era of music. I grew up in that
era. I love listening to them. Trust me, I love. Now you're a whippersnapper, because I go back. I used to listen to Merle Haggard and George Jones and Waylon Jennings. You know, I used to listen to a lot of the older ones. And you got to realize, Laney, now I'm 64, going on 65 here real quick. And I had a sister that was almost 35 years older than me.
There you go.
Yeah. So I have a lot. So when I was growing up, all the teenagers were listening to all this old crap that I'd never heard before. I had to explore all the new stuff. Well, let's get out of that. And first thing I want to ask you right up front is, when you got into the CNC world and everything, and you started, did you start off right off the bat with learning about VCarve Pro or VCarve, and or their line of programming? Did you start off with that?
When I started my CNC journey, that was in 2014. I knew absolutely nothing about CAD CAM design or CNC machines. Just what I saw on the internet and stuff. And when I bought my digital woodcarver in 2014, I started off actually with Bobcat Cam, which was, no offense to Bobcat Cam, a nightmare of a project, a program, should I say. I mean, just super over your head, complicated. And it was probably about a year, not a year, I would say probably about 6 to 7 months into it, when we transitioned away from Bobcat with digital woodcarver and started providing the Vectric software line of tools, or line of software with our machines. And man, game changer. Again, I had to learn everything, from scratch. And I'm a quick study. So basically, if I read something, if I understand it, then I'll never forget it, and I know how to use it. So I bury myself in the internet and research and videos and things, and as long as I can understand it, then I can do it, and then I can teach it.
You talk too fast, because back up just one stroke. So what you're saying is, was your first CNC a digital woodcarver?
Yes. Yeah. for sure.
Okay,
I'm a customer of Digital Woodcarver. I didn't become part of the company until 2015. I
okay,
went
yeah.
shopping
That's
for a
what I was
CNC.
wondering
I
because
knew I
when you
wanted
were
to have a
talking,
CNC, so
yeah, that's what I was wondering. So you started off the bat with a digital wood carver and the programming they gave you, in other words.
Yeah, Bobcat Cam, right? And
Yeah,
so I mean,
okay.
I went shopping. I went shopping around like everybody else, looking for a CNC, and I looked at the, Carverites, ShopBots, the Sharks and Piranhas, and I even flew to a wood show to see a ShopBot at the show. And when I got there, it was a little small thing. I wasn't too impressed with it. It didn't come with the features that I wanted. And at that show, Burl Tichenor and Digital Woodcarver happened to be displayed there, and I sat there and watched the machine carve a few things and stuff, and I started talking with them, and for the price and the package and everything that it came with, that's when I started. That's when I got it, and then about 6 months into it, Burl said, "You make videos, don't you?" and asked if I would make some videos for Digital Woodcarver, and then he asked if I would answer some questions for customers. And those questions I made a couple of sales, and I would call him up and with credit card numbers for the sales. And he's like, "Would you like to handle some sales?" And that's how our relationship started. We've been together 7 years, so.
But now, all right. So when did you start doing the woodworking show tours for Digital Woodcarver? What year do you remember that? Because I remember seeing you
the end of 2015.
2015. Okay. Because I remember seeing you
after I started answering questions.
Yeah, I remember seeing you at the different woodworking shows, and you were doing the V-carve stuff, or I wouldn't say V-carve. It's can't think of the name of the company. What's the name of the company, Laney?
Vectric.
Vectric. Thank you. Vectric. Yes, you were doing the Vectric software stuff and showing for the V-carve. Yes.
Yeah. See, the woodworking shows, they had legacy CNCs were teaching classes, the CNC classes at the shows for a long time. Well, they pulled out of the woodworking shows, and the woodworking shows needed that CNC element in the class, the class sessions and stuff. So they came to Digital Woodcarver and asked if we would start teaching classes, and so that's when I rolled into teach the CNC introduction to CNC classes and stuff like that at the shows, and I did that for the longest time until COVID. We stopped doing the shows, and now everything is online. The online videos and all.
Oh, I want to tell you, there's nothing in comparison as far as software as to Vectric software. I mean, I don't care.
In my opinion, Vectric is top of the line. Now, people will argue that Fusion 360 or this or that, and everything. But hands down, and I'm a little biased, of course, because we provide and support the Vectric software with the Digital Woodcarvers. But that software, for anybody that's looking to get into the CNC world, low learning curve, powerful features and everything, affordable price range, and you can climb from desktop to pro to aspire depending on your needs and experience and things. By far, there's no subscription required, no internet required to use it. It's not proprietary for this machine. You can use it with any other machine, and that's what I like about it. I always tell people stay away from proprietary software.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And the thing about it is with V-carve, and like you said, you mentioned Fusion 360, but Fusion 360 was not designed specifically for the CNC machine. It was designed for 3D modeling period, so to speak.
Yeah, 3D modeling and printing and things like that. And I mean, hey, I'll give them their kudos. It's a powerful software.
Oh yeah,
and everything like that. But I wouldn't want anything to do with it. It's a little bit, for ease of use and for its power and everything. Vectric is top dog.
Yeah, I've tried to use it more than once, and I give up on it. I just like I'll go with Aspire, and I can do everything I want and anything I want. And now, what I would like to ask you, and since you are owner of the Digital Wood Carver, and what do you think separates the Digital Wood Carver from some of the other competition? What do you think separates?
Let me just clarify. I'm not owner of Digital Wood Carver, but I'm owner of a Digital Wood Carver, just for people that might have misheard that or whatever.
Right.
I'm not the owner of Digital Wood Carver.
I thought you were a customer. I thought you were a customer, Laney. I thought you were a customer, and then you liked the machine so much you bought the company.
No.
I must have gotten it confused somehow.
No. My company, which used to be a Simple Design of Ocala Incorporated, just got rebranded. Literally, just got all the paperwork in yesterday, but it got rebranded to Build It TV LLC. My company provides a service to Digital Wood Carver, subcontracts Digital Wood Carver. I handle all of the support, training, and sales for Digital Wood Carver and everything. So 24-hour a day, Monday through Saturday. Calls, text message, email, phone call, Facebook Messenger. They can reach us for support on design, machines, issues, this, that, whatever they need, training.
And I will tell you,
and my company handles that service.
I will testify that I've had some problems with my Digital Wood Carver, and I contacted Laney, and I'm talking about sometimes within an hour, but at 2 to 3 hours, he's contacted me. But my point is, what do you think separates again?
Yeah, so let's get back to that. I'm so sorry. So a CNC is a CNC is a CNC, right? It depends on its build quality, rigidity, and power, which kind of it makes each CNC a little bit different. You know, it's its drive system and its rigidity, its construction and stuff like that. So when it comes to what separates Digital Wood Carver from the rest, I'm going to say it's going to be the customer support. There is not and any one of you companies that are watching or happen to catch this broadcast and everything, because you want to hear what I want to say about you and stuff. I challenge you on this one, but there's not a company out there that can rival Digital Wood Carver's customer support. And that's not just a salesman blowing smoke up someone's behind. Google it. But each customer receives orientation training. They receive 24-hour day, 6-day-a-week support. They are not just a statistic. They get support after the sale. They have an entire family of owners on Facebook, where it's a private group where they can get questions answered and project files to share and things like that. And then I teach classes every Tuesday night, and then I also teach one-on-one private classes to the customers. But they are not doing it alone. They have support whenever they need it, and that by far is the one thing that stands Digital Wood Carver apart from any CNC out on the market. As far as mechanically and everything, the owner of Digital Wood Carver, Burl Tishner, he was the lead design engineer for Wood-Mizer, and if any of you are in the woodworking world, you know Wood-Mizer and the bandsaws and stuff, their quality and all. He's built the same quality into the Digital Wood Carvers that he did in those Wood-Mizer machines, everything is manufactured in Martinsville, Indiana, and our factory in Shoals. We're growing. We've got 2 locations where we do our manufacturing and stuff. Everything is, if there's an issue, it's easy to get fixed. It's easy to get a hold of someone at Digital Wood Carver. It's easy to, you're not. That level of frustration that you get when you always buy a new machine and something doesn't go right is kind of eliminated in the process, because you have someone right there just a phone call away. The only time we're not available is on Sunday, because it is our day of rest, because we are a Christian company.
I can testify to that, because when I bought my machine and I used it a few times, I had a problem with it. And what it was doing was, I would tell it to move, and it would take a few seconds to move or whatever. Yep. And it was a delayed response. Yes. And yep. I called Laney immediately and told him, and I even took a video of what it was doing. I showed him the screenshot of
software.
what it was doing, and then I showed him what the machine was doing. In other words, the screenshot would show the machine was moving, but the machine wasn't moving. Anyway, my point being was he immediately said, "Yeah, you got a problem," and it ended up being the control board. Actually, it ended up they replaced the control board, and I don't know the control board was bad. His boss told him just to go ahead and replace it. But what happened was the fan blowing across the control board wasn't working. So that couldn't cause the control board to wig out. And his boss told me to replace the control board and the fan both at the same time. And so I'm talking about within hours of contacting him, he contacted me, and we were talking about what the problem was, and he contacted his boss, and within not a day, within 8 or maybe 10 hours, I had a resolve, and they were sending me the parts.
Yeah. And when it comes to, like, we use Planet CNC TNG for the controller software of the digital wood carvers. That's our motion controller software. And Planet CNC is based out of the UK, if I'm not mistaken. And their controller software and their control boards are in our systems. And love Planet CNC. Absolutely, very user-friendly and intuitive software as well. But that fan is critical. When that fan wasn't running, the board was overheating, and overheating caused erratic behavior. So like you said, it was moving in the software, but it wasn't moving on the machine. Then all of a sudden the machine would start moving, kind of a delayed reaction, if you will, and things like that. All due to that erratic behavior from the heat. But, replacing the fan just in case, because we're not sure exactly how long it ran or how long it had that issue. So we had to make sure that we wanted to replace the board as well too, just to make sure that you were up and running, because this was your first. You had just gotten the machine, right? And all that stuff. So welcome back.
We're talking about within 3 days of me getting the machine. This happened. Yeah.
But anything can happen for those of you. It's not like you get a machine defective as soon as it gets shipped to you and stuff like that. Things can happen and stuff. And in this case, we had a bad faulty fan.
Yeah, anytime you get anything, I don't care what it is, there are going or could possibly be a problem. The problem is not a problem unless the company doesn't respond and help you. That's when it becomes a problem. And I reached out to Laney, and I loved tell them a little bit about and I want you to explain that to them, how you're able to use what you're used to get on my computer and look and change things and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so just like when we do our training, or when a customer calls and has a question or needs help or a troubleshooting issue and things, we use TeamViewer, remote assistance program. So while we're on the phone, I can connect to your computer. I can operate and move your machine remotely. I can go through your software, your settings and things, and make sure that that's all good. Or if we were doing training, I can walk through and train you how to use the software and stuff like that. In our case, we were troubleshooting, right? And things like that. But customers, there's how-to videos, on our YouTube channel of how to install the software, how to design their first project, how to carve and things. But, they get their initial 2-hour one-on-one training with me. And then if they need help with a design, or if they need help, figuring out, hey, what do I do this? Or what's my feeds and speeds, or my pass steps, or this and that, they can call me, and if I need to, I can connect with them and walk them through whatever obstacle they're facing and stuff like that. So they're it's like me being literally right there in the shop with you.
Yes.
And everything. And when it comes to the trainings, those are video recorded. So whatever session we do in a training, not just a service call or something like that, but in a training, that video gets emailed to the customer, so they have something to review or watch later or something.
Yes. And that's exactly what he hooked up to my computer, and he tried to move it and it didn't move. And that's when he said, "Yep, we got a problem here. And Houston, let's send him some parts." So,
hey, Russ, can we take a question?
Yes, go ahead.
We have a question from, drum roll please, where'd it go? I think it was Chris. Oh man, now I lost it.
And I have a
Yeah.
question too from Jimbo.
Okay, ask him that.
Okay, yeah, Russ,
Fire
have you gotten your package from Jimbo?
Yes, and I'm sorry it has taken me so long to respond, and I would beat myself up beside the head with a drum or a hammer. But unfortunately, I got the magazines, but the scroll saw project that you sent to me was broken in a million pieces.
Oh,
Yeah, I
That's
couldn't.
heartbreaking.
I was going to try to figure out how to put it back together, and it is. If I saw a picture, I might be able to put it back together. But
Oh my goodness!
It's all Humpty Dumpty.
yeah, it's Humpty Dumpty. But I did get the magazines, and guess what, Al? I got 3 StarCraft magazines like you did.
Ooh, you got the ones that you like.
Yeah, so I would have. I didn't think about it tonight. I should have brought them out. I will do that next show. I promise. I will show the. A matter of fact, Al, have yours ready so we can compare them.
Okay, you bet. I've got them in the shop, which is where I've been streaming out of.
Yeah,
so I've been
but
showing
no,
them off on
he
Twitch
sent
over there.
me a scroll project, and it was between the magazines, and it was in like a lot of pieces. And I'm sorry, Jim, that I didn't get back with you and say something to you. We've had multiple things going on recently. Trust me. So, but yeah, I got the magazines. The magazines were in perfect shape. It's just the wooden piece in between got crunched.
Okay, I found the question. It's from Brian Warner. He wanted to know if Laney would suggest starting with VCarve desktop, and he wants to do 3D plaques and signs and rotary stuff like duck calls.
Okay, so right there, the duck calls and stuff, you're going to at least at a minimum, I would recommend VCarve Pro. So step up to Pro from desktop. Now, that being said, desktop and Pro both have what's called the molding toolpath. Because if you're going to be doing rotary projects and you don't have a spire where you can customize the model of that duck call, that shape of that body of that duck call, you can at least create the profile of it and wrap the mold using the molding toolpath in desktop or Pro. But I would kind of step up to Pro on that. But it really comes down to finances, because the great thing about the software is you can start with desktop, get going with that and everything. You're limited to a size 24 inches by 24 inches. But anything beyond that, you can step up to Pro, and you're just paying the price difference of $350. Once you have Pro and you get really good and everything, then you can step up to Aspire. You're paying just the price difference of $1,300. You're not losing any money. You're not having to pay the full price because you've already owned the previous versions. So yeah, so let me back up and say, yes, you could start out with desktop. You will be using the molding toolpath for the duck calls part of it. You're not going to have a physical model, which that's where Aspire really shines, because you have a model that you could work with and alter. With the molding toolpath, you have just the profile you've drawn, and it's going to create a toolpath based on that wrapped molding. But it doesn't save it. Like, you can't save that model to use and alter and change and do things with. You have to create it every single time. So that's kind of the downside of not having Aspire for that customized model. But
I got a question for you real quick. So if you have VCarve Pro,
yes.
No, but if you have VCarve Pro and you decide to buy Aspire, will Aspire understand the program that you've developed in VCarve Pro?
Sure, absolutely. You can step forward, but you can't step backwards. So I can't make a project in Aspire and then somebody open it up in VCarve Pro or desktop. Can't do that. But I can make designs in desktop and Pro, and I can open them up in Aspire. Or I can make a program in desktop and open it in Pro, or vice versa. I just can't go backwards,
right?
And everything. So the thing about it is with Aspire, you can build that model. So if he's making duck calls, he can shape this model and he can export that model out as 3D clip art that he can just drag and drop into future projects. He can alter it. He can add text. He can do whatever, do little funky designs, whatever his duck calls look like. He can compete with Duck Dynasty and all that good stuff. But, the Aspire just gives them that model. Well, with Pro and Desktop, you just have a profile, the shape, and then you can create a molding and then wrap that molding into a 360-degree design for the rotary, but it doesn't save it as a model or anything like that. So he would have to recreate that every single time, and you can't really if I need text to follow the contour of that model, I can't do that. Only if I had Aspire, I could do that, because I would need that physical model. But the profile.
What's your limit? Because Brian Warner wants to know, can I do this all in the trial versions? If I get the trial version of Aspire, am I going to have the full limitations of creating 2 or 3 projects? And then when the Aspire
full limitations is the key word, limitations, right? So trial versions are you can design in them. You can create toolpaths. You can explore the different features and stuff. You don't have, like with Aspire, of course, Aspire comes with $5,000 worth of models in clip art, about 1,500 items. You don't get any of that stuff with the trial. And you cannot create a toolpath or save, should I say, you cannot save a toolpath to run physically on a machine. So you have all the little features and all for designing and creating and playing around, but that's as far as it goes. You cannot save the toolpath to actually run with the trial version. Otherwise, it would be a full version. Now, that being said, if somebody has the trial version of the software and they get that, free download and they play around and stuff, and then they decide, you know what, I want to buy this, and they buy the full version. If the full version is installed on the same computer as the trial, whatever designs they created in the trial, they can open up in that full version and work with. But
that's
if they install the full version on a different computer, then their trials on a separate computer, they can't save.
No, that's a nice
thing.
Piece. Yeah, that's really nice. That they can actually try it and design stuff and then say, okay, I want to buy this, and then they haven't lost anything. They haven't
lost all that work, or that playing around and all that stuff. They could come up with something pretty cool.
No, I'm gonna tell you, I love Vectric software. I have Aspire. I have the full-blown version. Every time they give me updates, I just pay for it because it's well worth the money because of what you can do with it. It's like a long time ago when I started doing scroll saw projects. I started out, and then Steve Good turned me on to Corel Draw, but it was Inkscape that I started with. And once he turned me on to Corel Draw, I was like, holy crap, this has all the bells and whistles. And that's kind of like Aspire is all the other 3D projects or 3D design software that you see out there. When you get to the point that you actually physically see Aspire and start using it, you go like, oh my God, this thing will do so much more than anybody ever thought about doing. Is that not right, Laney?
Yeah, that's true. And now let me say this, since you brought up Corel Draw, for those of you, when you're working in the Vectric software, you don't need a third-party program like Corel Draw or Adobe Illustrator or anything like that. You don't need that third party, but some company or some people, they've been working in Corel Draw or Adobe Illustrator or things, Photoshop for years, right? And they're comfortable with it, right? They before they even started getting the CNC, and they're wanting to know, hey, can I bring files that I do in Corel Draw or Adobe Photoshop and or Illustrator and all? Can I bring those over into the Vectric software? And so Corel Draw CDR files, the default file type for Corel Draw, is not compatible with the Vectric software. You would have to export your design out as a DXF, EPS, AI, or SVG. Adobe Illustrator is compatible. AI files can be imported into the Vectric software, or again, DXF, EPS, AI, PDF, SVG. So of that, Corel Draw is not, as far as the what do you call it? The primary file type CDR.
Right.
CDR. That's
Right.
not compatible and it cannot be imported into the Vectric software. But
Right.
you can export your designs out of it.
And I agree with you.
That want
But
to use
what I can
programs like
do, I will tell you what I can do is I can do, because of the fact that the Vectric software will import SVG files, that I can go into Corel Draw because I'm so familiar with it, and I can design something and then export it as an SVG file and then import it into Aspire, and it will understand what the file is, and I can go from there. And the only reason I do that is a lot of times is because I'm so familiar with Corel Draw that I'm trying to familiarize myself with Aspire, but the problem sometimes just doesn't. Wow, this got quiet real quick.
It did get quiet. I thought something was wrong with your audio. I'm sitting there looking
Yeah.
at it.
I thought you froze.
No, but
For a minute.
it's like an SVG file. I can go in Corel Draw and I can draw something up real quick, and I know how Corel Draw works. Aspire will do the same thing, and I'm not saying it won't, but I'm not familiarized with the way to design it in Aspire. So I just draw it up in Corel Draw, export it as an SVG file, import it into Aspire as an SVG file, and boom, it's there. And now I set all my parameters as far as depth, cut, height, width, whatever I want, the size of the project, and Aspire, and boom, I'm off and going.
Yeah, so for the viewers out there that are looking to get into CNC and they're asking themselves, I wonder how hard is the software to learn? What is the learning curve? Of the Vectric line of software, which would be the software that I would recommend with any CNC machine, it is the low learning curve, powerful software, so it's very easy to get into. And if you are familiar with working with other softwares like, AutoCAD, Corel Draw, Illustrator, and things like that, you can export files out of there to import into your Aspire, but it is not required. You do not need a third-party program. You can do all of that stuff in your Vectric software. So
yes, good point. Somebody said, Polywants Crafter, Jerry Brown said, I designed VCarve and export to DXF for lasers. Yes, you can export from VCarve to
Lightburn, RD8 works, Lightburn for laser, folks and stuff. I do a lot of designing in my Vectric software. I do all my designing in Vectric, and I export as a DXF into Lightburn or RD8 works. So for the laser,
I will tell you right off the bat, because I have a laser. I have an 80 watt 24 by 35, I think it is, laser, and I have found out that Lightburn for lasers is like Aspire for CNC.
Yeah, Lightburn is becoming super popular.
Yes.
It's taken. I mean, if you looked at RD8 Works and Lightburn side by side, it's the same platform in a sense, but the people that kind of stole the whatever they did or whatever to make Lightburn really enhanced it, and it's gaining traction really well.
Yeah, I love Lightburn. I mean,
switch from RD8 Works to Lightburn.
Yeah, I didn't like when my laser came with RD Works, and I played around with it for a little while, and then I went online and downloaded Lightburn, and within 15 minutes I went like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. RD Works, you're gone. I'm going with Lightburn.
Yeah. Absolutely.
One question that they were asking about the duck calls, some people out there, I don't think they realize your machine you can get attachments for a rotary.
Yes. Yeah. So our 2440, even our 1824, our smaller unit, and our 2440 have a fourth axis, a rotary axis. The 1824, our benchtop unit, its rotary axis has a capacity of 18 inches by 3 inches in diameter. And then our 2440 machine, its fourth axis has a capacity of 37 inches by 8 inches in diameter of stock that it can turn and stuff for doing rotary projects and things. I was trying to look around to see if I had a rotary project handy, but Russ, if you'll talk for a minute, I'll go grab something and show somebody what
Sure,
a rotary is.
but go ahead, grab something. That was design said, Brian Warner know what from Lightburn to V-carve. I don't know that would work. I mean, I'm not saying it wouldn't. It depends on what the file you want. It depends on what the file you want to save it as. If you're saving the file in Lightburn as an SVG and importing it into V-carve as an SVG, then yes, that would work. But that depends on what you're going to save it as and export it as. So I'm not familiar
SVG.
with both softwares. So that's what I would say to that. And yes, you can have a rotary on some of the different
lasers.
No, on the different
CNC.
With digital wood carvers.
Sure.
Yes, you can do spindles and stuff on the digital wood carver. It's three-dimensional depending on what you want to do. Now, for what I wanted to do, I sat back and said, I never create anything more than 24 by 36. I just don't, even with my laser, everything I do is within that little realm. So when I talked to Laney, I decided the small one would fit my specifications perfectly. I didn't need the big one. I didn't need the medium side one. I needed the small one. And so that's what I ordered from them. And it has fit. I mean, what's the small ones?
18-inch by 24-inch cutting area. And
yeah,
the footprint
that's all I
is
need.
30 by
18 by 24. I've never made anything on a sign bigger than 18 by 24. So it fit my parameters perfectly. So why would I want to buy one that's like 6 foot by 8 foot if I'm only using that small space? So.
Sure. Now, you never know, and for your customers' education as well, you never know where the world's going to take you or where your projects are going to take you and things like that. And you might start off with your mini carver, the 1824, and you might find that you need to step up because you are, business or whatever is taking you a different direction. You're making things that require a little bit more size and stuff. Digital wood carver, you can trade your machine in towards the purchase of as you're moving up. So I could trade in the 1824 for a 2440. I could trade a 2440 for a 4x4 or a 4x8 machine. So you can trade up and trade in and trade up and use that credit towards the purchase of that next size up if you needed to. So when someone purchases a machine, they can, start wherever they're comfortable, wherever finances, whatever needs they have at that point in time. And if they feel, if their business grows and things like that, because we're really strong about, you can make money with a CNC, they can move up, they're not limited. Just like they can move up in the software from desktop to pro to aspire, they can start with a smaller unit and move up with trade-ins on that as well.
And I don't know if any other CNC, really, I've looked into a lot of the Shark. I've looked into several others. I don't know of any other CNC company that will do that will actually let you trade your old one in for a new one and give it a discount on it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't know. I don't have that answer either.
I've never seen one.
Trade ups or trade-ins.
No, I've never seen one. I'm just telling you. I've researched it and I've never seen one.
Yeah.
So
for those of you that don't know what a rotary axis is or rotary axis does, this pedestal or kind of table.
Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm putting you on full screen, so just give me 1 second. There you go.
All right, so this is a rotary project. Now, not the top or the bottom; those are cut on the CNC and everything well. But these areas from here to here, that is a rotary project that would be carved on the 4th axis of. In this case, this one was for the 2440. Again, the mini carver has a capacity of about 18 inches in length by 3 inches in diameter. This started off. This piece here started off about, I want to say, 3 by 3, and then it ended up being carved into that, right? So that is a rotary project for those of you that are curious as to what a rotary project is. So things that you wouldn't be able to really do with a lathe.
Did you design that, Laney?
Hold on, just give me 1 second. I got to get him back in here.
Oh,
Laney, did you design that spindle?
No, I did not. So that's the one great thing. Now I could. I have a Spire. I could build that model and everything. But you can also go online to places like Etsy, eBay, Turbo Squid, Thingiverse, CG Trader, and you can find beautiful models for sale and things that's what people do. They model and make and stuff, projects and all, and they turn around and sell them. Speaking of selling models, buildittv.com is a great place to get 3D models for your CNC carving needs. Check that out. I had to throw that in.
Oh, just a shameless plug there.
That was a shameless plug. Yes, I need. Hey guys, I'm trying to build a bigger shop. Buy models. I need them. Let
me tell you, I met Laney years ago. I don't remember how many. One of the first videos, and I will tell you this: one of the first videos, you were tiling a floor.
Yes, God. I videoed everything back then.
Yes, you were tiling a floor. You were laying the thin set. And you were tiling. Where was that at? Your mom's house?
Yeah, it was my house in the kitchen. I was remodeling the kitchen.
Okay, yeah. You were tiling a floor. That's one of the first videos that I ever saw of you and what you were doing. You were tiling. You had the camera set up.
It was a live stream.
Laying this, it was a live stream. You were laying the thin set and setting the tiles on the floor. That's one of the first videos that I ever saw of you and how I met you.
Yeah, I don't know if you other content creators, if you ever struggle with coming up with project ideas each week and things like that and everything. But my schedule, I used to come up with the idea on Sunday and design on Sunday, build and film Monday and Tuesday, possibly Wednesday if it rolled over to that, edit on Thursday, upload on Friday. It was a full-time job. But coming up with a new project and a new thing that hasn't been done 100 times over, that was always my biggest struggle. So I filmed everything back then, pretty much and stuff. So it's just like Spindle TV. I do live broadcast every Tuesday night. I teach live design classes in the Vectric software. So check us out. It's free.
I just watched your last one. Your last one, which was you were talking about designing like 3-dimensional wall art. Yeah, wall art. Yeah, I just watched that one the other night. So let me tell you, if you don't take advantage of watching what Laney does, I mean, it's like if you're on a CNC and you want to learn something, you need to watch him.
Yeah, I don't teach Fusion 360. I don't teach easel and all the other things out there. I teach Vectric. So if you own the Vectric software, you want to learn how to create and design with it, check out Spindle TV on Tuesday nights, but also at Build It TV. I don't think I have it set up on Build It TV yet, but I do offer one-on-one training subscriptions as well, where you can actually do one-on-one training with me on your software and stuff and designs and everything.
All right. Anybody on the panel want to ask Laney something?
No,
y'all are all quiet.
I was going to ask him what
we talked too much, right?
I was going to ask you if you're
first,
just
let's
getting
go with
started.
Jim. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Who was? Wait, hold on. Who was just talking?
Jim.
Al.
No,
Oh,
Jim was
Jim.
talking. I said yes, but
Jim.
Jim was
Oh,
talking.
Jim. Yeah. Okay.
I was going to ask you if you were just getting started in it, what the best Vetric package would be to get.
So, if you're buying the software, like if if you're buying the software independent of a machine and everything, Vetric VCarve Desktop is $349. Vetric VCarve Pro is $699. Vetric Aspire is $1,995. So really, to answer your question, if the finances are there, go with Aspire. It gives you everything you need, right? But I'm not saying run out and spend $2,000. Start off where you're comfortable with $349. The desktop is great. Here's the differences. Desktop, you have a size limitation of 24 inches by 24 inches. Anything bigger than that, you have to tile the design. You do not have access to the gadget library, which is Vetric's free add-ons like the dovetail gadget or the circle making gadget or this or that, and stuff, box making gadget. You don't have access to that library, and there are no nesting tools for nesting multiple parts on your material to minimize your waste and maximize your yield. Step up to VCarve Pro. It eliminates the size limit. There are no size limits with VCarve Pro. You have access to the gadget library. You get a few, about $500 more worth of models and designs, so free with the program. And it has the nesting tool. And then step into Aspire. Aspire has all the tools of Desktop and Pro, but it has additional 3D model building tools. So it's really, now with every one of the programs, I can import a 3D model and I can carve it. I can import photos, trace those photos, and carve those designs. But if I want to take a photo or my line drawing or some graphic or something and turn it into a 3D model, that requires the Aspire software. But if I'm importing a image or a model to carve, I can do that Desktop or Pro, right? So I don't need Aspire to do that. So I would say start out with Desktop and work your way up because you're not losing any money. You pay the price difference just to upgrade. For those that are just getting started and they might have a budget cap or something. But if finances is not an issue and everything, go with Aspire because it gives you everything, all the bells and whistles, and the learning curve is no different.
All right, time out. I just got to say one thing. When you talk, Laney.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. When you talk, this is like you go at 100,000 miles an hour, and you have done this so many times because I know you've done the woodworking and everyone else. It's like you don't even have to think about what you're saying because it just comes out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been selling and teaching the software since 2015, so we're
that's it
now. So
better,
I live this 24 hours a day,
Yeah,
customer support. So I get calls throughout the night, and I do get calls at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning and 4 o'clock in the morning and stuff because everybody's they're in Canada, they're in Australia, they're in the U.S. and Hawaii, 6-hour time difference. So all the different time zones and stuff, we have all of our customers, calling in at different times and everything. And so the phone's constantly ringing. And so it just, I could be in a dead sleep and that phone ring and it's like, hello, welcome to Digital Woodcarver. Laney Shaughnessy, how can I help you? You got to be able, you can't sound.
Has anybody else noticed that he's like that, like boom, 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 boom. He
answers the phone and it's like, hello, Russ, is this you?
No, it's not a bad thing, Laney. My point is that you are so in tune as to what you do and what you're talking about. It shows. I mean, you're just so in tune in what you're talking about. It shows.
Yes.
I did have somebody that asked a question.
I can't see the
okay,
chat.
we do a thing back. We do a thing, Laney, which is called
Woodshop Confessions.
Woodshop Confessions. Okay. Well, with a CNC, I know that you can't get hurt a lot with a CNC. In other words, unless you stick your hand underneath the router bit as it's going. But Woodshop Confessions is normally when you had an accident, like you run your thumb through the planer without or drilled
Laney's
a
looking
hole
forward
through
to
your
it.
hand while you're holding a piece of wood or something.
Oh yeah.
But so understanding that, can you tell us about any CNC crashes or stuff that would be a woodshop confession?
Can I give two confessions?
Yes.
Yeah, you can do two.
All right.
Yeah.
So one
The
will be
bloodier the
CNC
better.
related. The other one will not be. And the other one is actually somewhere on YouTube because it actually got filmed when I had kickback on a table saw and it cut my belly. But anyway, CNC. So I mean, anything can happen with a CNC as far as crashing and stuff. My first initial CNC confession is literally an hour after receiving my machine and setting it up. Beautiful, brand new, sparkly little machine and everything. I didn't do something correctly the first time I hit the button, and the first thing I did is I buried my bit straight through my table and cut a nice big hole in my table. So that was my christening, if you will. Like, you can't get upset about it, you just got to go, oh God almighty. But so right out of the gate, I buried my bit, broke the bit, cut a hole in my beautiful tabletop, and that was the very first thing that happened with me with a CNC. Other CNC,
I did that too. I did that too. I want to say I did that too.
Yep. Other CNC confessions. I have an extension kit on my CNC that shifts my gantry forward about 3 inches so I can carve off the front of the table to do things like finger joints and dovetails and all that stuff off the end of the table. And forgetting that my gantry, when I shifted it forward 3 inches, I lost that 3 inches on the backside of as far as my cutting area. Not realizing that somebody gave me a beautiful piece of wood that they wanted a wavy flag cut into, and clamped the board on the table. It exceeded my new cutting area, if you will, not realizing it, and cut the wave into it, which was a 12-hour run and everything. And I'm used to starting my machine and then going in and working on something else. And I don't babysit my CNC machine. It does what it needs to do and everything. But I went in, came back, and the machine had been crashing every time it hit the limit trying to get to that end of the CNC. So every time it lost its steps in that position, it was moving more steps in this position. So it was kind of like, crashing back and forth and things. And then finally it had lost the position so far, then it started, it didn't have to go that way anymore. Now it was just all crashing off the front. So I don't know how long it had run that, but I had this beautiful board slab, if you will, that this gentleman gave me, destroyed it. And you can't really replace something like that. I did my best to try to find something of comparable value and stuff, but that was, yeah. So that was,
I would say I've been there, done that for on my CNC a few times.
That's the only confession I've got on that. Now,
no, that works out great.
Yeah, I'm doing a video on my table saw. I'm doing a video and I'm cutting a piece of wood. Don't have a riving knife. I took the riving knife out of my table saw for some reason. Cutting a piece of wood, and I reached back to grab the wood, and I actually, instead of grabbing it, I pushed it into the table saw blade. It shot that wood over the blade, and it stabbed into my belly on the side of my gut. It knocked me back, I would say literally lifted me up kind of off my feet, knocked me back. And all you hear in the video is, but the F word in a very gut punch, and everything. And it was filmed. And then, so I decided to take that video down, and I edited it to where there was not after I did it again, but in slow motion. So you can see it in slow motion. But so yeah, I've had kickback. I had a kickback that literally lifted me off my feet and knocked me about 6 feet back onto my butt. I thought I was dead. I thought I was going to the hospital, but I had a piece of plywood, small square piece of plywood I was going through, and somehow or another it got twisted, and it came and it shot, and one of the corners hit me dead in the chest. at a very high rate of speed, and it just knocked me back on the ground. Total air went out of my lungs, could not breathe, and I'm like, and I thought I was dead. I was like, I couldn't even scream help, but it hurt so bad, and it had a bruise on my chest like that. Wow. So that I've had 2 kickbacks on my table. So that's my shop confessions. That's all I have. It's nothing exciting, but yeah. So
no, those are great, and I will say, bless you, Laney, that you will not have any more accidents in the shop. Bless you.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I was wanting to do was I felt a little left out. I saw the Star Trek thing there. So
oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I wanted to get into my ship.
Yes. We should all be in our own ships like this. Every one of us.
Absolutely. So yeah,
welcome to Nerdville
back here and everything. So
we gotta.
La Serena.
All right. Does anyone have anything else to ask Mr. Shaughnessy? As to any questions about Vectric stuff, I will tell you this much.
I can't see the comments. Have we missed any? Are they all good? Is every
no? I've been watching them, and I think my panel has really been good about watching them. As far as anybody have any comments, I will tell you this much: when I received my digital wood carver, and it came in, it worked perfectly in the beginning. Within about 2 or 3 days, I noticed there was a problem. I would literally tell it to move on the software, and the software would say it's moving, but the actual router would not move, in other words. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So I tried it 3 or 4 or 5 times, and I realized there was a problem. I contacted Laney, and I told him, and I actually videotaped what was going on the digital wood carver and what was going on the video. I sent it to him, and he said, yes, you have a problem, and I'll contact, who's the owner?
Burl Tissue.
Burl. Yes.
And
he said, I'll contact Burl, and we'll find out what's going on. It ended up being
your viewers' knowledge. Everything's working fine now, right, Russ? And
yes. No, I'm going to explain. Laney, chill. I'm going to explain the whole thing. Just chill.
He wasn't going to hit you up for a service call while you were here.
So come to find out, when he asked me to turn the thing upside down, the fan that was blowing across the control board was not working. That totally explained everything. Burl was concerned that it might have damaged the control board, so they not only sent me a fan, they sent me the control board. They asked me even if I was comfortable with replacing it, and I said yes. It's no big deal. I mean, I'm not a dumbass when it comes to fixing things like this.
No, you were pretty good.
Yeah, so they told me, so I replaced it, and guess what? Everything worked perfect. Now, anytime you received any kind of electronic device, I don't care what it is, a laser or a CNC or whatever, there's apt to be problems. It's going to happen. There's no problem. My point being is the response that you get from the company, okay, their quicknesses in responding and what they respond to. Burl immediately said, let's not only send him a new fan, let's send him a new control board just to make sure that it didn't get overheated. I replaced it. Everything's working great. They responded. I mean, I contacted Laney in the morning, and by the afternoon, he had already responded to me. And he said he'd get with Burl, and within another, 8 or 9 hours, they said that they were going to do this for me. So my point being is, I would say the service with digital wood carver is fantastic. And not just because Laney's sitting here, that's the service that I received from them. regardless of who I bought it from. That's a service I received from Digital Wood Carver.
I'm gonna
And
leave,
then I
Russ.
had a
See you
few
later.
other problems with the programming and everything. And Laney was what did you do? What was that program where you hook up to my computer?
Team viewer.
TeamViewer.
Remote
Yeah.
assistant software.
Yeah, and he was able to straighten out the few problems that I had. I thought I was pretty smart, but I found out that he was smarter than I was because I didn't click a few things I was supposed to. So, but he got me up and running without any problem. So the point being is, when you buy a product, such as the CNC, you also have to determine not only are you buying the product and the quality of the product, but what the service you're getting from the company. And so I would say, hands down, if I was looking for a CNC, and I'm not prejudiced, I'm just telling you from upfront, from my personal experience, Digital Wood Carver is fantastic. And I would say, like, if you're looking for a CNC, I would contact them. And yeah, I mean, you respond every time I've called you, and every time I had a problem, you've responded like boom. So.
Yeah. I
Hey,
try
Laney?
to be quick on the response. And yes, sir.
No, I was going to ask if you heard anything about the woodworking shows coming back.
No, basically they've been canceled. Back last year they did a like a 3 or 2 weekend virtual show. I think they did like 2 weeks in a row or a week long virtual show. And then they were going to try to do the woodworking shows. They had something scheduled, but then those fell through. So I don't know if we have no idea if the woodworking shows is going to get back on track or not. We hope so. It would be neat again, but I'm not sure at all about that because we're just not hearing any communication from them and stuff. And they had something going for 2022, but then it faded away.
Okay.
And Russ, because we're getting into the hour and all, do you mind if I kind of throw out a little something for your viewers as far as we have a new Smart Bench CNC machine called the Precision Pro Smart Bench. It's a portable CNC machine that can handle 4x8 sheets. Would you mind? Can I go full screen for a moment?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. You are 5, 4, 3, 2.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Laney.
You're
Already there.
Awesome. Well, basically, what I wanted to do was share the page of the Smart Bench, and I don't know how, Russ. How do I bring in a screen share?
Paul's not here. We can't do that.
Go down to the bottom where you see share.
No, I've got the screen. I've got it pulled up. It says it's in there. Do you see it in the backstage?
No.
Share.
It should be share screen, and then you pick the one you want to share.
Yep. And I did, and it's showing it in the backstage, but it's not showing it on the screen unless somebody can see that. Well, okay. So
whoa.
Wait, there it is. There it is.
You got it.
Yep.
There you go. So the Yeti Smart Bench, the Precision Pro Smart Bench is made by Yeti Tools out of the UK. It's branded for Digital Wood Carver. It is a portable 4x8 CNC machine. It has a capacity of 98 inches by 49 inches. It breaks down into a very portable package. I can show bear with me a second, get down to it. Where are you at there, buddy boy? Hold on. I'm in the wrong. There we go. That's what I want to show. So it's breakdown, and you can literally transport. It's almost like a not necessarily a job site CNC, but it could be. It takes it sets up very quickly. Solid aluminum construction, and for those of you that are looking to get into a 4x8 CNC machine at a lower affordable price, like our 4x8 commercial line unit starts at $19,500. This for a limited time is $7,999. But it can handle small projects as well, but it's got a 4x8 capacity. It's got an onboard computer system that allows it to, you can self-control. You just put in, after you create your design in Vectric, you save your toolpaths on a flash drive and bring it in, and it's got its own onboard controller. And it's a really nice machine. So if anybody is looking for a small, affordable CNC that can handle up to a 4x8 sheet and they want to take a look at, check out our website, digitalwoodcarver.com. And under the shop menus, shop CNCs, check out the Smart Bench. And there's some wonderful and stuff. But that was it, Russ. Throw that out there. We will have 6 in stock in the next couple of days, and while those 6 are there, they're starting at $7,099. After that, they will be at a price of, let me get out of here, $8,940. So there's a good savings right now for the first 6 units and stuff. Okay, so digitalwoodcarver.com. And let me stop that screen share.
That URL is in the chat for anyone interested. Just click on it and go there.
Yeah. So thanks for that, Russ.
All
I just wanted to, there's a lot of people that need a 4x8 capacity, but they don't want to spend commercial size money. They might not have a big space or footprint in their room or in their shop.
Have you seen the one that actually is a Robotonic that will sit on the piece of plywood and move itself around and carve? Have you seen that one?
I haven't. I know that
like
there's
not
the Ready Route.
There is one that you supposedly it's like a 12-inch by 12-inch cube, and it has 3 wheels. It's autonomous, and you can set it down and lock it into place, or it knows where its place is, and it will actually move across the plywood and carve it out.
Yeah, they're going to
I have
have
another
issues
one that
with
runs
that
on
design.
cables. Yeah,
I see
Yeah,
that
I
they're going to
know.
have issues.
as soon as the encoder skips, it's dead.
Yeah, Dixon, I kind of have to agree with you on that. The reason being is because there's in something that small, there's no counter force. And if that bit is struggling to get through a material or whatever, there's nothing that's going to keep it from.
That was my.
You know how
That's
exactly
what I was thinking. If you run into a resistance, in other words, all right, there's no way wood has a exact pattern in it. There's always a difference is in soft parts and hard parts, regardless whether it be pine, oak, whatever. So when it gets to those points where it's freely rotating through the soft parts, how does it determine to strengthen down and move into the hard parts?
Yeah.
That I would be
know
curious
how it works
because I know my Roomba, when it runs into an obstacle, it goes crazy and just kind of.
I know how that's going. I know how that's going to. I know how that's going to work real well. It's going to go 1 inch an hour.
Yeah, there is an autonomous CNC they're putting out there that you can set on a piece of plywood, and it will carve out whatever you want it to carve out. I've seen it. I watched the videos. Yeah. It's out there. It's within reasonable price. It's less than $5,000. So I was like, wow, really? So, I mean, I'm not going to spend the money to figure out if it'll do it or not. That's for damn sure. So,
for sure.
But anyway, so thank you all for being here. I will tell you this much. and I can say this, I'm a little prejudiced as far as I do own a digital wood carver, and I researched before I bought it. I'm not kicking out any BS or whatever. I researched. I knew Laney before I purchased the digital wood carver. I researched around about which ones I wanted to buy. I decided that that was the one I wanted to buy because I felt that that fit everything I needed. And I really liked the fact of the response from if you had a problem, that they were going to respond back to you and get with you and resolve it.
Yeah. And
so
you asked hard-hitting questions. You know, I know, I remember all your messages when you were researching.
So when I bought it, I had it. I had problems. It was fixed. So I would tell you, if you're looking for a CNC, I'm totally happy with it. Even though I had problems, I'm totally happy with the response that I got and the fix that I got. Everything is perfectly great. So if you're looking for a CNC, I would have to say that I would look to the digital wood carver. That's just my personal opinion, and that's what I have to say. The second thing is, if you don't watch Spindle TV or Build It, you're missing out. I watch his Spindle TV every chance I get. I think it's on Tuesdays, isn't it?
Yep. And it's for the diehard. Now, listen, it's for the diehard CNC CAD CAM designers that are looking to learn designs, because the classes are 2.5 hours long. It's not a 15-minute or 10-minute video or anything like that. That's what Build It TV. So for those of you that don't understand the difference between the two, Spindle TV is where I teach the CAD CAM design, Vetric. Build It TV, my other main woodworking channel, it got rebranded to Build It TV because what's going to happen is I'm going to go back to building projects every week, doing all kinds of projects that may include a CNC or may not include a CNC. But what I'd like is all the projects I have over 200 videos, training videos on Spindle TV of all these different designs and, you know, hanging shelves and games and this and that and everything. But you never really got to see the making of that. Right. You know, you just got to see how to design it, how to create the tool path for it. And that was it, you know? So Build It TV is a way that I'll be doing all the designs and everything on Spindle TV, and then on Build It TV, I'll be building the projects. So if somebody's interested in watching the build, they can watch it over there. If they want to learn about the design, they can look at the design. So it's kind of, that gives them the best of both, because there's a lot of people that have been saying, hey, build it. We'd love to see it, you know, run. Right. You know, but
exactly.
So that's what
there you go. You have it in a nutshell. Awesome. So, and subscribe. He's on Facebook and also on Instagram.
Follow Spindle TV at Instagram.
Yep. So he's on all those. You can follow. I follow him. I watch him. I've learned.
And that's literally the handle. Follow Spindle TV.
Follow Spindle TV. I've learned a ton of stuff off of it, and so there you have it. That's my 2 nuts in the woodshed. Next, thank you for being on here tonight. I know you've been kind of quiet tonight. You're still kind of quiet. Are you there?
Who, me? You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
You talking to me?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I said, are you there?
No, nobody's home.
I would ask for every one of you who are out there, who are a praying people, who know God, who love God and know He answers prayers, to pray for Brenda. And I am expecting wonderful things out of prayer for her and what she's going through. So please pray for Brenda. I love you so much. Nancy was talking about you the other day. She was going through some of your videos and she was like laughing, and she was like, I know, you know, we love you to death. I just want you to know that.
Well, I'm going to stick around a while if the Lord is willing. And, you know, I've got some ideas for some new comedy type videos, and I may even throw some serious stuff in there once in a while. It looked like everybody seemed to enjoy that pretty good last week. So
yeah, it did. The serious stuff was great. It was an uplifting, fantastic video.
you
Listen,
never know what you're liable to see out of me.
Now, Brenda, I love some Southern
over
comedy.
there on Brenda's channels, whatever you may do, and just tell her hi. Just PM her. Just say hi. How are you doing? You know, and just let her know that you're thinking about her.
I've heard so many people say, "Well, I'd say something, but I hate to bother you." You ain't bothering me. Lord have mercy. It's easier for you to talk to me now than after I go to the other side. So, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you got something to say, be saying it.
Yeah, say it now before I die. I mean, that's the reality of it. But that's not the only point. None of us are promised tomorrow, so you say it now. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Dixon. Thank you, Al. Thank you so much, very much, Brenda. And thank you, Laney. I appreciate you being on here tonight.
You're very welcome, and thanks, guys, for letting me still, I guess the majority of the podcast, you know, and
no,
I would have loved to have heard from Chris. No,
it was everything I intended it to be and everything it should have been. So that's no problem.
And more.
Listen, if you're too darn busy to get out in your shop, you're either too lazy or you just don't give a crap. So get out in your shop and make some sawdust. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and God bless.
Good night,
all. Good night, y'all.
And remember, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
What Chris said.